So, house rules for our class, for those who are there on Wednesday, and for those, I think, if you remember vividly correctly, I took you through a Python class during this cohort period at some point. It is like an afternoon class, I think. So house rules still applies. From time to time, I'll be shutting down the charts. I'll be shutting down the reaction icon. I'll be shutting down the Q&A so that I need my class to be concentrative and not in a bad way. I just need you guys to be very much focused. Then I'll be releasing the buttons, the restrictions from time to time. So I'll be allowing you guys to speak, to make noise. Yeah, so those are just simple house rules. And for raising up hands, I'll be allowing forums for that. So not entirely. So you might think that I'm ignoring your hands. No, I'm not. I'm just, for now, ignoring them so that I can focus on the class, then go back and pick each and every question from the raised hands, from the Q&A, and I answer them step by step. So just simple house rules, and then we are going to be okay. So let me open the forum for now. I can see a few hands up, but please let them relate to this class, web development. Yeah. So let me allow Sharon. Sharon, morning. Sharon. Okay, Sharon is not able to speak. Let me go to the next person. We have Sebolai Malebogo. Hello. Morning. These people are not able to speak. Don't know why. Okay. So what I'll do, just lower their hands. We have Duke. Morning, Duke. Am I audible? Thumbs up if I'm audible. Morning, Duke. I'm going to only take 5 for now. 5. So 5. Duke is not responding, so let me remove him. Duke, you're trying to say something? Duke, you are trying to say something? You can just unmute yourself. Now, okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are happy to have this session today. We are waiting to see how things are going to be done. Thank you.
Nice, nice. Thank you. Let me go to the next person. We have Chinedu. I think we should balance the countries as well. Morning.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, morning.
I'm happy to have this section. I know it's going to be a roller coaster. I want everybody to put their mind. I wish everybody the best and happy learning period. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Let us go to the next person. Three more. Let us go to Hilda. Ladies, where are you?
Good morning, sir. Really, I had not raised my hand. Thank you.
I'm not getting you. Come again.
I'm saying
Yes.
I had not raised my hand.
But your hand is up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. Dennis. Good morning, sir.
My question is about the web assignment. Where will we get the link to submit the assignment?
So the link around, have you ever used a GitHub Classroom before? I think you were oriented with that.
They told us they will give us the Google form. We submit the link there.
No. So this is how we do it for web. I don't know other modules. We attach a GitHub Classroom assignment on the LMS for each week. When you navigate to that GitHub Classroom, it is going to create a clone repo to your GitHub, which is linked to our GitHub so that you can be able to push your code. I'm going to demonstrate right now in a few, but we don't submit manually. It is an automated way.
It was a group assignment that I'm talking about.
Or group assignment. We are
Yes.
going to work on that, don't worry. But personal assignment or the individual assignments, please just follow suit the way that I've told you.
Okay.
Yeah, but for group assignments, I think that works on a group project. If you're working on a project, I think that's how you're going to work. For other modules, they are far much ahead because the holidays have not been affecting them. The holidays have been affecting web development class directly. So we are really behind. That's why I'm trying to really catch up on a lot of aspects so that I can navigate you. After this class today, I think you guys should be fully equipped for JavaScript. I'm not going to cover everything entirely. I'm going to jump like for week 7 and 8, I'm going to combine them. We really need to get you to the next phase. But don't worry, we are going to get you covered. Okay, let us see. We have Mary. Morning. Mary is not able to speak. Time is not on our side. I think those are enough questions for now. Let's jump on the next wagon. That is content delivery now. And I'm going to disable the chats for first. And then at some point, I'm going to disable also the Q&A. Yeah. And then, yeah. If you raise your hand, I'm not going to answer any question for now, but allow me to share my screen. Let me see. Okay. All right. I don't know how my screen is visible, but let me try something. Thumbs up if my screen is visible. Thumbs up. Perfect. Anyway, so today's class, very interesting. We have covered a couple of aspects here and there. I'm just prepping you guys for this particular course here. For those who don't know, we have this full stack. Trust me, it is interesting than you think. I've done this for the previous cohort. You are the second cohort that I'm going to be taking through that, or the second cohort entirely to handle this course within PLP scholarship. So I'm prepping you guys for this, and the class today is about JavaScript. JavaScript, as you can see, it covers the majority of the classes. We have Express, we have React, integration and everything. Then we have WebSockets. So all of this, it is not possible because if you have not handled web development, the basics. So last week we did a catch-up for introduction to JavaScript. We did a catch-up for JavaScript basics, functions. I left out a couple of things like loops, but today I'm going to handle document object model, but I'm going to start with the loops, then document object model. I'm going to do this one as a catch-up. Then I'm going to handle DOM as a main concept for the class, and then I'm going to combine with event handling. Combining these two, all other things don't matter, only event handling and document object model. When you know those things and you have the JavaScript basics, trust me, week 7 is going to be a walk in the park because, yeah, this is purely the document object model. We have already done this one. I don't know if why it's still here, but this one is supposed to be in week 5. I guess it was a miss content alignment. We have CSS animation. This is document object model. So the class today, if you take it keenly, if you take it to understanding really well, on Wednesday, we are going to be doing a brush through so that on Monday, we finalize with the project development and deployment and everything from that. So if you take keen understanding of the class today, I believe you guys are going to be ready because document object model, like I said, is the core. I know you guys are already preempted to this. Instructor Eddie already gave you an introduction to that, but I intend to go deeper because this topic, I was requested to do a catch-up class due to demand from the class. I was requested to do a catch-up class specifically for JavaScript because JavaScript, trust me, for those who were there in the catch-up class last week, I told you, JavaScript is when you go deeper to it and understand it better, you're going to see JavaScript like a joke. Yeah, for me, I call JavaScript a joke because there's a language that is much better than that, derived from JavaScript. It's called TypeScript. So TypeScript is much better if you have understood JavaScript from scratch. So for me personally, in my coding, I normally use TypeScript a lot. And I already preempted some people back then in the catch-up class last week, like that I was telling you that I'm a software engineer by profession. I'm a software engineer by profession. I'm just an instructor at PLP, but it doesn't end there. I'm also a software engineer by profession. So what I'm bringing to you is what is in the market. So you are supposed to take it hard from somebody who has experienced it for like 4 years now. I've been a software engineer for 4 years on all aspects, from machine learning, data engineering, blockchain technology. Right now, I'm focused on training you guys and just building full stack applications out there. So I'm giving you this out of experience. So just take it lightly. There's no superiority complex of any sorts in this aspect. Don't feel that inferior complex or like I'm not worthy of this thing, or see this and this. No, I'm not here to brag to you. You're not here to be intimidated by me. We are here to help each other. I deliver, you try to capture, grind it down, understand it better. And at the end of the day, trust me, you're going to enjoy it. For those who don't know, just a repeat, for those who don't know, I was from the first cohort of PLP back then in 2022. I was there, me, Eric, there's this guy called Japheth. I think you have interacted with Japheth in the communities. Also Munene, we were with him there. Also Nelly, we were with her there. All of these people, we are there in the first cohort. We have other people out there doing other professions, but we are giving you because we were taught first, so we are giving it back to the community, of course, as trainers. So if I was part of the PLP cohort, and right now I'm here, so you can imagine the journey. Right now, the ambassadorial opportunity has been launched. Please jump on that really quick, because for us, during our time, it was an internship, being assistant instructor intern, but you guys is now an ambassador program. It is going to take you far. That is a ladder that you should not miss, even a step. Anyway, enough with the shenanigans. Let us jump on something that matters today. Anyway, okay, so let me open a repo. I'm using Linux, so please don't ask why is it? No, Please, I'm using Linux. Just understand it as that. Okay, so week 6. Let me put my phone on something called Do Not Disturb mode. I value my students. Don't want anybody to come and disturb me. Anyway. So week 6. This week is totally essential. If you missed the one for last week, please go and look at the catch-up class, download the video because it is going to be taken down shortly. I think in 1 or 2 weeks' time. Now, for week 6 is entirely part of week 5, then week 6. So I'm going to start by JavaScript loops. I know you guys have covered that, I know, but for the sake of those who are newbies, for the sake of catch up, for the sake of just bringing a new concept here and there, allow me to handle that. Allow me to handle JavaScript loops. Because if you have seen things to do with automation, things to do with iteration, you know that loops are there to help you. So let me disable these, what do you call reactions? Like I said, house rules. So smile, the last part, smile. You're not smiling. And close. I'm going to open it. Let me close it. I'm going to open it later. Don't worry. Don't cry. So JavaScript loops. When you hear about loops, what should linger into your mind is things to do with repetition. You're trying to loop something over and over again. You see, time loop, you're trying to loop something. So understanding loops. Loops are used to execute a block of code repeatedly until a certain condition is met. So it can loop for eternity, it can loop infinitely, but until a certain condition is met. So they are essential for automating repetitive tasks. For me, I'm a lazy person. You see, I'm a lazy but bright. So what I do in my daily work, if I've struggled to do something today, I'm going to make sure at the end of it, I'm going to automate a process so that tomorrow I should not do the same thing. I should spend a lot less time doing the same thing by automating my tasks. So automating repetitive tasks and processing data collection, especially that. You are wondering, how was I reaching out to you, like via email? That is something simple, which I think at PLP, I think I was the only one doing that at first, before other people started doing it, because of course I showed them how. I was reaching and calling you by your first name. You were wondering, how is this possible? Out of thousands and thousands of people, out of thousands and thousands of learners, how is that possible? It is automation. It doesn't need AI to do automation. No, even before AI, automations were there. So I was able to do that. I was able to collect even your feedback. I was able to collect your feedback. I wrote scripts to collect emails for the replies so that we can analyze and see which one to prioritize as for help first. You see, not to be biased, but we are handling like 8,000 of you. So you can understand, and you're not the only cohort. We have other cohorts coming in. So by doing that, I'm able to automate my tasks. I'm able to automate a report to my boss, telling them, this is how the class was, this is how, without using AI, no. Just writing a function that is going to do this based on these conditions. This is how loops are being created, regardless of the programming language. So, because today our focus is on JavaScript, we are going to be on that. So, loops. I'm going to brush through loops really quick so that I can focus on other things. So, we have types of loops in JavaScript. I'm going to mention a few. We have for loop, we have while loop, we have do while, we have for off loop, we have for in loop. All of these loops I'm going to talk about today. I know you guys covered a few, but I'm going to dive deeper into a bit, show you the syntax here and there, but not to worry. Then I'm going to show you loop controls, and then show you how to work with the loops, looping through arrays, using nested loops, things like performance consideration. Then I'm going to pause it there because we're supposed to do a hands-on or called disk list generator. But because it has DOM within it, I'm going to jump it so that as soon as I complete document object model to the nitty-gritty of it, I'm going to go back to the dynamic list generator. Then as a project, then we can do a to-do list of sorts using that. And then I think we can jump on event handling, and then our class is going to be over. So have that flow, and then it's going to be okay with you. Now, loops. I said that we are talking about for loops. So for loops, these are most common. So start by for loops. Let me put here auto save because I'm not intending to save all the time. So for loop. So for loop, this is the most common loop type. So it is used when you know how many iterations you need. This is when you know exactly how many iterations. Iterations, I mean, how many loops do you want to go through? That is what we call iterations. So a basic for loop, this is how it is written. So you can say basic for loop. So to write a for loop, this is how you do it, and I'm going to show you. So before I just give you a loop, basic for loop, maybe to show you a for loop component. Components, like what does it entail? Components. So for you to achieve that, it is really easy. So you start by for. Let me comment it. Let me comment it so that it can come out well. So for, then you put your parentheses, then you come inside and say initialization. So you initialize. Where to start? Where are you starting with this? Sorry, I'm used to Python a lot and other languages. This is supposed to be semicolon. Then you put a condition. When I said a condition has to be met, this is where you put your condition. Then you put an increment. It can be an increment, it can be a decrement, depending on what you want to achieve. So it is executed at the end of each iteration. Do you want to increment or do you want to decrement? In other instances, you write a loop whereby it is not about incrementing or decrementing. It's about doing something. When this condition is met, something has to happen. This is going to be essential because we are going to see that even more in document object model. Worry not. If you're floating, please, the session is being recorded. You can review it later. So this one can be an increment or a decrement, depending, like I said. Then, of course, what follows now is something we call code execution. So this is where you write your code. So code to execute. Just like that. So essentially, people, this is how a for loop looks like. So let us write a basic one. So basic for loop. So to achieve that, it is very simple. So I'm going to write a loop like initialize. So I'm going to use let. Then I'm going to say I. Then do assignment of that. Then I'm going to say this one should be less than 5. This is like just high school mathematics. If you hated mathematics, sorry. I'm not here to harm you. But console. So I want to print this one. So console log. But I want to print it in a way that is dynamic. So how do you do it? How do you do dynamic in JavaScript? So you use something called backticks. Not single quote, not double quote. You see on your keyboard, just below, if you're using this keyboard, the orientation that is normal, just below your escape button, you're going to find a button that has something like a backtick. A tick that is looking backwards, like something like that. So we use backticks. So you come and say iteration. Then if you're using backticks, then you're permitted now to use that ampersand, then you say I, then you say +1. Just a simple one. Then you can close this one. And then let us try and run this. So what do I expect in mind? So before you execute your code, have an execution in your mind. Remember, I talked about problem solving. So have an execution, have an expectation. You said we initialize at 0, right? So initialize at 0, but not 0 is going to start. So initialize at 0, but you're going to increment. We are going to be incrementing. So how do we achieve that? How do we achieve that? Let me even put a space here. How do you achieve that? So to achieve that, we are saying the condition is I should be less than 5, not equals to 5, not equals to 5, should be less than 5. Even let me just modify this one to be better without this. Yeah. So it should not be 5. So let us run this. So to run this one, let me expand my terminal. Yeah. Again, there. Now, to execute this one, I'm just going to say node loop. Now, iteration 0, iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration 4. So started from 0, but less than 5. So which means it's not equals to 5. I can come and change here, put equals. Then when I run again, we have a 5. So it is less than or equals to 5. That's a simple execution. Now, I hope you guys have understood. It is very simple. Let us jump on the next one, which is while loop. So while loop is, as the word suggests, so it is used when you don't know the exact number of iteration in advance. So you are putting in a mind that I don't know in the future how many iterations I'm going to have. I don't know exactly. So while this is happening, so you initialize, then you put a while. It is going to be simple, worry not. So like I said, it is used, the first one, it is used when you know the exact number. This one, follow. Used when you know the exact number of iterations that you have or you want to have. But this one, you don't know. This one is possible because it gives you sort of a range. So I is starting from 0, but I is less than or equals to 5. So you know exactly the range where it is playing through. So you know exactly the number of iterations that you're going to have. But for while loop, you don't know that in advance. So how do you execute that? So you come and say, let count be equals to 0. So initialize count as 0. Then you come and say while. So while you put a condition, just like speaking in English. So while this is the case of less than 5, while count is less than 5, what is supposed to happen? So you're supposed to print console log backticks, of course. Then you say count. You put that like that. Then you come and say count. And then you close. And then now you can put your increment or decrement as you can wish. So count plus plus. So that one is going to add one every time. Now, as you can see, the program itself, you don't know how many execution are going to be there because this one can be 0 or it can be null. So it doesn't matter. So you don't know because while loop, this is while loop. We are not using this one. This one is outside the while loop. So we are using this one. So within the scope of while loop program, you're not able to know exactly how many people. You can just bring down your hands. I'm going to open a forum for you guys to raise up your hands. You can just bring down your hands for now. You can just bring down your hands. Let me help you do that. You can bring down your hands. It is interrupting the session, kindly. I'm going to open a forum for that. So this is while loop. So let us see how it works. Just like that. So count 0, count 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember it is less than 5, not equals. You can put equals here so that you can be able to see 5 as well. Just like that is while loop. Now, how about a sibling for that? So a sibling for while loop, it is called do while. So it is similar to while loop, but it guarantees you at least one execution of the code block. So something is happening before even the condition is met. So it is running first, then checks the condition after running. That is now what we call do while. Like I said, I'm going to be going quick. So do while loop. So this one, it is similar to while loop, but it is going to guarantee at least one execution of the code block before checking the condition. So it is going to run first, then ask questions later. That is a simple way to put it. Run fast, ask questions later. So we can say let something like number, num equals to 10. Remember, it is outside the scope. So just like while loop, so do this. So console.log our backtick, so number. Then we can say, let us do something a bit different today. We can say, let us decrement it because we started at 10. Let us decrement it by 2. And then we can now ask questions. Check the conditions now. So now we can say, okay, because we started higher, let us prevent it to go to negative. So run fast, then ask questions. No, after running it the first time, it is going to say, okay, so the condition is num has to be greater than 0. Okay, so I should not go. So the next time it's going to run, it's going to have that at the back of the mind, that we should not go below 0. We should not go below 0. Even we should not touch 0, if that is the case. So we are starting at 10, decrementing by 2. So it's going to start by 10, then go, before it goes to 8, so the first run is going to take it to 8. But the second run is going to have at the back of the mind that, okay, now we should not go below 1, which is supposed to be greater than 0, but not equals to 0, but greater than 0. So which means we're supposed to stop at 1. So it is going to run that, but it's going to check the decrement. After 8, we go to 6. After 6, we go to 4. After 4, we go to 2. After 2, we go to 0, but it's supposed to be greater than 0. So we remain at 2. Let us see if our math is making sense. I even don't know. There you go. So 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 is not going to touch 0. Why? Greater than 0. Not equals to 0, but greater than 0. That is called do while. So shoot fast, ask questions later. Sorry for using that analogy. For those who are in South Africa, happy Freedom Day. Happy Freedom Day. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let us jump on the next one. It's called for off loop. Now, you guys are going to be wondering, now, what are you talking about? We only have for loop, but no, we have 3 variations of for loop. We have, we have 3. We have for loop itself, the original one. Then we have for off. Then we have for in. Yeah, so just to clear the air. So for off loop. This one is introduced, like I said, a lot of items were introduced in EschemaScript version 6. For those who don't understand, EschemaScript version 6, so it is called ES6. ES6. So we have, this is a version of JavaScript, we can say, of JavaScript engine. So EschemaScript version 6, also known as ES6, or EschemaScript 2015, is the 6th major version of EschemaScript standard. So ES6 introduced several new features and improvement to JavaScript. So 2015 was the prime time for JavaScript because a lot of features were brought in. Right now we are far much ahead. So the standard one is ECMAScript 6. So that's why this version of for loop was introduced. So it is called for of. So one of the features that was released is this. So this one is used to iterate over iterable objects. When I talk about iterable objects, I talk about things that it is possible to go through. Like it's like you're perusing through a list. You see, through a list of things. You see, okay, so I want to cook. So this is the recipe. Now, these are the items that I'm supposed to buy. So you peruse through that list. So you are iterating. You're searching for something. You're iterating until you find what you're looking for. You see, until you find what you're looking for. So in JavaScript, when we talk about list, that is when array is supposed to kick in. So in JavaScript, we don't talk about list, we talk about arrays. In Python, we talk about list. But in JavaScript, we talk about array or arrays. So iterating through iterable things over iterable objects. That's what I'm talking about. Iterable means you are able to peruse through. So let us take a look at an example. So we come and say something like, let us create an array. Let us create an array. So fruit. So this is a fruit. These are fruits. I don't know this type, but I'm okay. Don't know why this, but anyway, so fruits. Now we are going to say we are going to have apple. We are going to have bananas. We are going to have oranges. Just listing a few things. Assume this variable called fruits is your basket. Then inside your basket, you have fruits. So you can pick a fruit within fruits. So you can pick a fruit inside the fruits basket. I'm going to show you how. So you can have something like, let me see another fruit, mango. The usual one, just the usual one. So that's your basket. But now let us now write a loop to go through each and every item within that basket. So how do you do that? So for const, we are going to say for const. So talk about fruit of fruits. Just like saying Lord of Lords. I think I'm making sense. Let me enable the chat to see your reaction. You know, I like teaching so that you can relate. Just like saying Lord of Lords. Not to joke on any religion. I'm a Christian. Very, very, very strict Christian. But just to make you understand. So it's a Lord among lords. I'm not talking about heavenly, but even on earth, when you go to Supreme Court, you call people lords. So just the same way. So a lord among lords. So you have lords panel, then you can pick a lord among them. So Lord of Lords. Now fruit or fruits, simple. It is English, programming is English. Now, like I said, not to meddle about any religion, let me just continue. So if I want to check each and every fruit within these fruits, how do I do that? So console.log, then I can print that particular fruit. Now, just wait and see, it is going to be fun. Now, when I do that, you can have all of your fruits displayed. Or I can decide, because it's an array, this one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2, 3. That's how you number things in array. You start with 0. That is the first index. You start with that. So the first index in an array is normally 0. Or when you talk about indices or indexes, there's no something about indexes. No, that's not English. When we talk about indices, the first number in an indices list is 0. You saw 0, 1, 2. So if you want to do that, you can come and do something fun. Just put there, I want to print what? Banana. So I say 1. Somebody is going to say, no. If you're saying 1, that is going to be apple. Let us see if you're right. Okay, I'm so freaked out. What is happening? That's not supposed to happen, by the way. That's not supposed to be there. Yeah. Let us see. Fruits. No. Sorry, I'm so misleading you. If you don't teach it right now, but that's how you do it. Oh. I'm going to show you how. I've realized that I'm going to confuse you with a lot of codes, like 10 more lines here. No issue. So, where was I before I confused myself? Now, I printed that. Now, when you're talking about iterating over an array, we have seen that, right? How about iterating over a string? You have a particular string. Let me name one. So iterating over a particular string. Let us have something like name. Then I can put my name. Because I've just remembered, I did something there, but I remembered there's something I need to show you, but relating to that. Now, to relate this particular thing, I can say, I want to list each and every character in this name. That is iterating over a string. We talked about iterating over an array, but we now want to iterate over a string, particular string. I want to list each and every character in its own line, like take that part, take that apart, each and every letter. We call them characters. So to do that, the same thing applies. Suppose you say character of name. Or just to make sure that people understand, letter of name. I hope the spelling is correct. So that I can come and say console log. I can come and say letter. So it is going to print each and every letter of the name. Just like that. I did a mistake, but that mistake led me to think of this. So you can do so. Just understand that this one is an item among items. Item among items. That is the simplest explanation that I can offer for now. We talked about 3 variations of for loop, right? But what is the third one? So the third variation, let me just jump on it really quick. So we have for in. So for in loop. So for in loop, it is used to iterate over object properties. So we talked about arrays. We talked about, let us go back, let us take our mind back to things called data types. We have 2 categories of data types. We have primitive data types. Let me even spin up. So copy what? What was the name of that file? Week 5. Let me see, what was the name of that file? I'm just trying to flex with you here. Variables, right? Yeah. Why is it not? What is happening? Okay. It is deciding to make me have a headache, but it's not going to achieve that. Week 5 variables. I want it to be here. Let us see if this is working. Yeah, we have just borrowed that. Somebody's wondering, how did you do that? That's not magic coding. So we talked about data types, right? We talked about two types of data types. We talked about primitive data types. We talked about reference data types, or you can call the old way non-primitive. So when we talk about primitive data types, we talked about strings, numbers, Boolean, undefined, null, simple, and blah, 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 blah. But when we talk about reference data type, this is where we talk about the two. We have arrays, which is ordered list of values. And then we talked about object. An object is a collection of key value pairs. You as a person, you have attributes. So I can describe you how, using your name, your age, your skin color, how tall you are, you see, your weight. These are items that describe you physically. So you are an object as a person. When you talk about computer, you talked about specs. So a laptop has specs. So a laptop has a name. You can go and check about the RAM, the internal storage, talk about the GPU, talk about the CPU cores, you talk about the company. These are these are properties for this laptop, because these properties, they define what this laptop is about. So that's what I'm talking about. So they are used to iterate over object properties. So you as a person, I want to iterate over the property you as a person. So how do I do that? Just to clear the air. So this is how we start, of course. Const. Let me just bring out this one so that I'm not remove let use const. Why are you using const? Because you don't want anything to change. It is immutable. You cannot change it. So person has a name, has first name, last name, age, is a student or not, something like that. So these people that are raising their hands, I don't know if they can keep their hands down. Let me see. It is really hard. It is really glitching my... Kindly put your hands down. I'm going to open a forum for that. Yeah, please. Much cleaner now. So this is a person. So for me to do that, same way, const. Now, it is very easy for you to understand that we talked about fruit of fruits, letter of name, lord of lords. But in this case, we're talking about this property is inside an object. A name, or we can say a RAM is inside a laptop. The CPUs are inside the laptop. Like they are contained within. Have that in mind, have that difference, by the way. They are contained within. So you can come and say property. Property in person, not on. Why is it saying on? So in person. Then within this property, you can console log. So watch closely. Just programming, by the way. Let us use backticks. So let us check the first property. So if you want to check the property, you just say property. Don't be afraid of doing so. So property. But then this property, we want it to come out, I don't know, I want it to come out in a very nice way. So let me think of a way to bring it out in a way that people can be able to understand. So put it well. Now we talked about property, object like a collection of key value pairs, right? So we want to have a way whereby we can give the value associated with that key. So how do we do that? This is a key, this is a value. This is a key, this is a value. So I don't want to print this first name, then I get age 30. I don't want to print his student, then I get John. So how do I do that? Because that is what I want to bring it out well. So in JavaScript, this is how you do it. Simple, just do the same way you did. So property, no, it is not property, it is supposed to be person. So person, then person, you can now bring an array so that that array matches. So we can come and say now property. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, just capture that template string syntax. Okay, that's a long word, long phrase. Just capture that syntax and master it, because the only way you can be able to understand it is that this is going to print a key. This one is going to print a value that matches the key. So it is going to match first name, John, last name, Doe, age 30, student false. It is going to match them correctly. So specifically, this one is going to bring out the key. And this one is going to bring out the value. So please don't mind the complexity, but what it explains is that this that I've highlighted, this one is going to give the value associated to that key. It's going to match it. So understand that syntax so that next time you can be able to write the code, just changing the variables here and there. So let us see how it works. I'm sorry, I don't want to duplicate it. You see, first name John, last name Doe. Like it is able, we are able to do that. So when you talk about key value pairs, this is something that is fundamental and you need to understand. So key value pairs, JS. Things like this, you just Google them and understand them, how they are written. Because for me, I'm not lying, I'm just telling you the truth. You just come and understand them. For example, we have something like this one here. So this one is you just define that, then you come and say person key, then you can get New York and so on. So how do you get these things? Or you can just go to what do you call it? Let us go to something like AI, because it's AI. Just if you don't understand a code, please go to AI. It is going to you're able to understand it much better. So let me find AI. So I have something here called, let us use Cloud AI. So Cloud AI, I can come and say explain. So you don't understand a piece of code, come onto it and ask it to explain. So it's going to break it down, explain it to you. Okay, so you see it's saying, that's it is using for in loop, okay? So for me, I want to understand this part. So person property accesses the value of that property. Simple, accesses the value. So if it is first name, it's going to access the value of that first name. It is going to help you do that. So each time through the loop, the variable property holds the same name of the current property. So the person property accesses the value of that property that we're talking about. First name John is student false. Simple. It's not rocket science. Just pretty much explained well. Because I talked about loops. So how does it come about that is a loop? So don't worry. This one is going to run at the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, and then fourth iteration. So the first iteration is going to bring out the first. So this property that you're seeing here is going to print first name, which is going to print it and put it on standby. So as you can see, it was able to print first name, put it on standby. So while still on the first iteration, how does it access this one? So it uses this to access John. then Prince John. Then the output is going to be first name, John. Then it goes to the second one, the third one, the fourth one, until it is done. So don't confuse it with for off. This one is for in. Let us do something called loop control statements. We have two. We have break statement. We have continue statement. And then I think you can brush through, then we can jump. But this one, let me leave you guys to go and understand it later. It is something that you have done. So for your assignment or something you can do later, go and check break statement, go and check continue statement. Those two. And then number 3, go and check how to loop through arrays. How do you loop through arrays? Because there's another version called for each. We have for loop, for off, for in, and then we have for each. That one is a special case of sorts. So you can use a for loop to loop through arrays. You can use a for each. When using a for each, you talk about indices, index, and so on. Then you can take a look at nested loops. Nested loops, this is something that normally disturbs people during interviews. So go and crack your head and dive into that. Anyway, let me open a forum before I jump to the next session for 1 hour, which is interesting. Let me get, okay, class. We are now allowed to make noise for a bit. Yeah, we can make noise a bit. You can now raise your hands if you have any question. Yeah, after the session, I'm going to share the repo, the WhatsApp. Somebody is still saying good morning, Africa. Hey, my friend, we're in class. So let me see, this person was raised their hand. We have Asford. Morning. I don't know if it is morning on your side. Asford, you raised up your hand.
Yes. Am I
Okay.
audible?
Yes.
Okay. I was asking,
Mhm.
I didn't get about this for in loop.
Mhm.
You are saying the first name is the key. And
So
then
it is for in, it is used to iterate through objects. Take an
okay,
object like a person or a laptop or something that it has things inside that you can describe the object about, right?
okay,
So
yes,
particularly you have a first name, you have a last name, you have
yes,
age, you have height, and so on. These are properties describing you as an object, for example, right? So to
yes,
access each and every property, first name is a property, is
yes,
called key. But this key, it has to have a value. So value is now Asford. So first name is a key. Asford is a value. So Asford, first name Asford. When I ask first name, you give me Asford. So I ask you as a property, you give me the value. I ask you last name, you give me Mwangi. I ask you age, you give me value. You see? For you to
yes.
access this, that's how you do it.
Okay. So then to print out the text is I add console.log property and personal property
Yeah.
or person then property.
So the first property is
Yes.
the key, but now person, and then you put square bracket property. That one is used to specifically link a value that matches the property. So
Okay.
it has to match. So that's how you do it. So person, square bracket property, it is going to bring out the exact value that matches the property in that current iteration. Like first iteration is going to print out the first name. So first name, the value of the first name now. You see?
Okay. I
Yeah.
see. I see. Thank you.
Yeah. We have the second person. We have Timbos. To me, sorry. I don't know where my mind is. Forgive me.
My name is Tumiso.
Tumiso, yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to ask. So on your screen, it's line 52. There's a semicolon there. However, with the other loops, you don't close off with semicolon. So I
Yeah.
wanted to ask why it's important for us. What's the significance of the semicolon as compared
So,
to the others that don't have it?
thank you. Thank you for bringing out that question. I knew it would come. So, like I said at the beginning of the class, if you're not there, but I said JavaScript is a programming language that is, like, I can say it is somehow useless. Not useless in the sense that you can think of, but JavaScript is called a loosely typed programming language. Loosely typed. It is loosely typed mainly because it agrees with you mostly. It agrees with you entirely. So if you put semicolon or not, it's going to agree with you. If you work with data types that are mismatched, it's going to agree with you. So JavaScript alone was not able to even come up with the modern applications. That's why for now we are training you on JavaScript, which is the fundamental, so that after learning JavaScript, later on, if you want to, it's not compulsory. Later on, if you want to, you can venture into TypeScript. So what is TypeScript? TypeScript is a strictly typed programming language. Strictly typed meaning like it bombards you with errors even without compiling. You have not closed this, it's going to hit you. You have not done this in your code, is going to give you. So it is not tolerative, TypeScript, but JavaScript, it is tolerative. It allows you, it agrees with you. So in an analogy, maybe you are in an argument. So JavaScript is on the other side, TypeScript is on the other side. So JavaScript is going to always agree with you. Like it doesn't care. But that's not the point. The point is JavaScript is not a programming language that you can say that it is strict. It is loose. Like that's why when you learn JavaScript, it is easier to jump on TypeScript because the only difference about these two is that one is strict, another one is not strict. So later on, you're going to understand why. Even React, we have two versions, React JavaScript, React TypeScript. The only difference about TypeScript and JavaScript is when we talk about strictness. So TypeScript is like a mother caning you when you do something, but the other one is like an uncle, like just buying you sweets and so on. Just talking about that. I don't know if I've understood my analogy, but JavaScript doesn't care whether you do it
Yes,
or not.
I understand 100%. Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody's talking about JavaScript. Kenyans, come on. Anyway, let me take one more. We have had a gentleman, a lady. Let me take a look at Julius. Julius.
Okay. I wanted to ask that because I'm not using Linux, and I wanted to see how to run it because I was just following up. I was not doing it practically. So I've seen you using Git Bash, and I don't know how should I run it, or I just run it with the terminal like the normal thing because it's my first time being here today and seeing things like this.
Don't worry. Linux, don't be intimidated. Linux is just another OS, but I like it because I'm a developer, I'm a software engineer, so I use it. It is best for my line of work. But to answer your question, that is not Git Bash, that is Linux terminal, Ubuntu. I'm using specifically Ubuntu distribution for Linux. If you want to work on it on Windows, just use Git Bash. Git Bash works well. And to run it, I use Node. So you have to have installed Node. Node is not a language, Node is not a framework. Node is a runtime environment for JavaScript. Node is a runtime environment for JavaScript, anything JavaScript. It can be JavaScript, TypeScript, or anything. So Node is a runtime environment. So you have to install it. So the best way to install it, somebody can put on the charts or Q&A an NVM, Node Version Manager. You install Node Version Manager so that you can be able to slide through versions of Node if you want to, because they change versions. but essentially you need to have node inside your system for you to run it so that you can say node, then file. Just like Python. Python itself is like a runtime environment for Python. Have you understood me?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So not taking any question for now. Let me jump on the next session. Okay, let me do this. Sorry for those who have not answered. I was only to take a few. Okay, class, now time to keep quiet. Time to keep quiet. Now, class, keep quiet. Yeah. Okay, so now let us jump on the, the elephant in the room. It is called document object model. Trust me. If you have not sat well, just sit well in your seat, then because it is going to be a gas. So dom.js. Now, when we talk about document object model, your understanding should be, I'm trying to bring this on in the best and the simplest way possible. You guys understand the analogy of a tree, or you can understand the analogy of a tree, whereby you have a tree itself. A tree has branches. Branches have, what do you call? Branches have this thing called sub-branches. Sub-branches have leaves. So it's like you have to pass through a certain path for you to get to there. Or you can talk about lineage in your family. There's a great grandfather, you have a grandfather, you have your father, then there's you. Then you have a child, but if you're not of age, please don't do that. So, you see, I like reactions, but okay, I've not disabled them. So, just like that, that is document object model. So DOM represent the HTML document as a tree that JavaScript can manipulate. Not manipulate in the sense that you manipulate somebody for the money or what. No. When you manipulate so that you can be able to modify it in a bit, you can change how it looks like. That's how we talk about manipulate. Don't take it the other way, please. I'm not giving you manipulation advices here. So what is DOM essentially? So giving it a few definitions, you can say, this is a programming interface for web documents. You see, when you talk about HTML, let me just bring up HTML, index.html. So HTML5, then you hit enter. So this is the thing that I want to explain. So it's a document. Remember, HTML is just hypertext markup language. But then we have another markup language called XML. So this one is HTML, but now we have another one called XML, which is extensible markup language. So extensible markup language, in the next class, not in the next class, in the next specialization, if you go with the full stack man, when you get to React, we are going to talk about JSX. What is JSX? JSX is called JavaScript XML. JavaScript extensible markup language. So JavaScript XML is whereby you combine HTML that has access to DOM, which is called virtual DOM, by the way. React is just virtual DOM. That's why I'm talking about DOM being very important for your career as a web developer or a software developer venturing on web applications. So this one is DOM, but when we talk about React, we talk about virtual DOM. So combining JavaScript and HTML in the same page, in the same file, and compressing it and compiling it really well, then you can have a very beautiful interface. Just to show you what I'm talking about, even before I venture into this, we talk about JSX. It's not an airline like they say here. So JSX, don't forget about this one, not an airline. JSX, let me bring out this definition. So can refer to many entities, but okay, let me say React. I have this, I'm using Brave browser. So JSX It's a syntax extension for JavaScript that allows you to write HTML-like markup inside JavaScript file. So you are having JavaScript file, but you can be able to write HTML inside. So we are going to see how in the introductory part of the DOM, how does HTML fit in JavaScript? How exactly? This class is going to enable you and is going to give you that aspect of what you can venture into. So in React, JSX is often used to write components. Let me give you a brief of, I know a lot of sites that you can get components. We have ShadCN. You guys know about ShadCN, ShadCN UI. We have another one as it loads, we have Daisy UI. As it loads, we have another one called Radix UI. As that one loads, we have another one called Eternity UI. As a Eternity UI, not for Kenya's, not Shetani UI, as Eternity UI. As that one loads, we have so many. We have Framer Motion. Oh, I'm not guessing these things. ShadCN, this is ShadCN. This is where you write components. Like if I want a button, doesn't mean that I have to code the button entirely from scratch. No, I just need to pick it and bring it in my code. This is my portfolio. My portfolio, I've built my portfolio with, for those who have not seen my portfolio, I've built my portfolio with React and Next.js. I didn't build this button from scratch. These buttons, they come from components. Things like this, they come from components. You see, they come from components, like a card like this one, this box that looks the same everywhere. They come from somewhere, something like this. To have something like this, they come from somewhere. You see, they come from somewhere. So these are called components, reusable code bases or UI. So this one is ShadCN. This one is Daisy. Daisy UI, one of the best ones that I know. You can write few codes. This one is Radix UI. Please don't be perplexed. This is just, I'm trying to recruit you to join my class for full stack. So if you don't mind, I'm in a campaign mode. This one is Eternity UI. I don't know if I'm winning. Then we have Framer Motion. All of these things. So they all come from DOM. That's why I'm talking about this class. If you can do more practice in this class, trust me, React is going to be a walk in the park because that is what is called, that is React. If you can just understand JavaScript, then understand the DOM part of it, and then understand how to style. My friend, we are a full stack developer, like, okay, not full stack essentially, but you can just build a very beautiful user interface. So don't worry, I'm going to share this. I know people are wondering, please share this. No, don't worry, I'm going to share them. Don't worry. Yeah, I want you to chew what you can be able to chew right at the moment right now. Now, let us go back to class. So DOM, document object model, like I said, is a programming interface for Word documents, number one. Number two, DOM represents the page so that it is going to represent the page. So what is a page? A page is whereby, this is a page whereby I can come and say, let me bring this up, go live. This is a page. You see it's an empty, so I can come here and say H1, hello, PLP. You see, this one is a page. It is 300%. Who did that? I think it's from the previous class. So this one is a page. So this is a document page. So DOM represents the page so that JavaScript can modify its structure, style, and content. So DOM is now the apex of JavaScript. DOM is where you say now JavaScript brings functionality. When you talk about JavaScript bringing functionality, now DOM comes in. So DOM is there to organize, it is organized in a tree structure where each node, or you can say each branch, is an object representing a part of the document. You see, when I talk about a part of the document, I'm talking about this is a part of the document, this is a part of the document. And you can see HTML has an opening and a closing tag. Head has an opening and a closing tag. You see, title has an opening and a closing tag. Body has an opening and a closing tag. So DOM it's like a tree whereby you have this one as a parent. You can say this one is a grandparent, HTML, because it is enclosing everything together, opening and closing. So everything is within the HTML. Then you have inside the HTML, you have two. We have head and you have body. So within head, you can now branch in again and say, let me bring in something here so that you can be able to ease how you can be able to understand DOM. I don't know if you guys have, like, let me bring out something here. I'm trying to bring this one the best way possible. Let me, this one's called mermaid chart. Not mermaid for the ocean, please. Just mermaid. Let us see. Now, to explain it much better, I don't know why it is behaving that way. Let me bring in that another one. Where is it? It just disappeared. It was here. Where is it? Sorry. I'm trying to bring in a visual for your understanding. Let me see. Come on, man. Please don't laugh at me. I'm going to cry. I might cry. Anyway, let us see. Let us see if this one is going to work. I have no idea if it is going to work or not. Perfect, perfect. This is what I want to explain. Yeah, this is what is called a mermaid code. It is, don't mind about all of this, please, don't mind. This is called what we call a mermaid code. It is there to visually represent things. So write something like that. So this is how you explain DOM. So DOM, this is where you see document is on top of everything. Then in document, you have HTML. So call this one a granddaddy or a grandfather. So a grandfather can have your father, then you can see the lineage. So within this lineage, you can see we have titles. Within this lineage, you can see we have header, paragraph, and everything that pertains to that. So DOM. So this is entirely what DOM means, a tree structure. So for you to access header, you have to start with the document. You go to HTML element, you go to body section, then you go to header. That's how you can be able to access header tag. If you want to access image, you go to the same document, you go through this one, through this one. If I want to know where your child or where you are coming from, I'm going to start from here. Then drop back to your parent, drop back to your grandparent, drop back to your grandparent. So at the top of the tree or at the root of the tree, we have a document, which is this what you're seeing, the white thing, like you can load this. This is a page. People, this is what you call a page, a web page. Then within a web page, you have HTML now. Now with HTML, you can jump on this section. So this one is called header section. This represent, I think you've already been told, this one represent things that you cannot be able to see. Things like this one, titles. It's not inside the body tag. Now, everything that is within the body tag is now here. The header, the paragraph, the image, the what and what, the form, the everything. The buttons are within the body section. Thumbs up if you've understood my analogy. Perfecto. Now, I think that is enough for definition. Now, let us see, how do you access? You talk about data and you talk about this blah, 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 about DOM. Now, how does it work? How does DOM work? So the browser loads the HTML, that's number one. The browser creates the DOM tree from the HTML. I think I've just explained it from this analogy. You load the HTML, index.html, then DOM loads the tree structure. Don't mind about this, is just visual. JavaScript accesses and manipulate this one. So JavaScript can come in this web. It can come here and modify this one, modify everything. So changes to the DOM are reflected and displayed in the web page. I can say this one is HTML. I can change this one to dead end element via JavaScript. Now, how do you access DOM elements? So when I talk about DOM elements, you talk about these HTML elements. All of these things are DOM elements. Now, let me go back to what I was having. So how do you access them? So for you to access DOM elements, we have access by ID. So access by ID, you select an element, the element with the ID. So that's how you do it. Now, I'm trying to bring out a simple way, but anyway, I'm just going to call beans. Now, we can say, this is how you do it. So const, say element, then you say you say document. You start by document. On top of there, it is starting from where there. Then you say, I want to get this element by ID. We have the by ID, by class name, by name, by tag name, and so on. Today I'm interested in this one. So document, yeah. I want to access the elements within the document by ID. So what is the name of that ID? You come and put this one. I want to bring out a very simple syntax to explain it to you. So you can come and say my element, the element of surprise. I'm trying to bring out no worries. I'm going to do a quick summary, no worries. I'm going to do a quick summary. Now, let me explain. So this one is going to select a single element with a specific ID. Remember, I said specific, specificity. Let me put it that way. A long word, I'm going to bite my tongue because of this. Specificity. So when we talk about specificity, so we are going to return. So the returns are the first element matching the ID. So why am I saying this? I'm going to explain later the difference between this getting element by ID, the difference between ID, the difference between class. You're going to get to that. So that's a simple way. You access element by ID. This one, it is what that matters. Now, how about the second one? By class. So by class name. So by class name, you come and say const elements. Remember, I'm using plural, not the other one as singular there. So get element by class name. Then you come and put my class. I'm going to explain everything in due time. How many are enjoying my class? Let me just get feedback right now so that I know. In Swahili, people say, pigia mbuzi kita. Anyway, you can ask Kenyans the translation to that, but they are going to lie to you. I know these people. These charts are not being enabled. Why? Nice. Yeah. You can give me the feedback real time. Yeah, of course, dust is constant. If it was easy, everybody will be doing it. Floating, yeah. It is good that you're floating. You notice that you're floating. That's why it is being recorded. I'm not giving everything. Go and do more research by yourself. Somebody can just paste our WhatsApp link for those who don't have, but I'm going to do that later on. Anyway, time to keep quiet. Okay, enough. Thank you for the feedback. If you are floating, that's okay. That's okay. So if it was easy, trust me, it will be worthless. Now, by class name. That one is by class name. Let us look at another one. I'm going to offer clarity on this, don't worry. Now, we have another one which is called by tag name. You tag it. So by tag name, you can say const, something like paragraphs, document dot get element by tag name. So the tag name, when you talk about tag name, you talk about the particular element. It can be a paragraph, it can be a button, it can be a header, it can be an image. That's a tag, HTML tag. So you access that by that. Remember, JavaScript is a loosely typed language, so it doesn't care if you close it or not. Now, we have another one which is query selector. We have two types, query selector. It is normally used in CSS. Now, when you want to, we said JavaScript manipulates HTML, right? But also JavaScript manipulates CSS. That's how JavaScript is manipulative. I don't know who created JavaScript. That person needs a lot of gains because this language is so confusing. Okay, so JavaScript, like we said, is it can manipulate HTML, okay? But also it can manipulate CSS. And it can manipulate CSS within HTML. So it's a language that is there for full responsiveness. So we have query selector. Query selectors. So this one is the modern approach. You can come and say, so we have two. We have query selector. So for the query selector, you can come and say const. Let me just copy this thing, man. I don't want to waste a lot of time typing it. I'm typing every now and then. Let me just do the typo there, something funny. Now, you can spot the difference. This one is putting hash. But we know hash, when you use hash, we are talking about ID. So this one is in CSS. And then we have another one, which is, I have these notes, that's why. So query, selector all. These notes are a selector for DJ, please. Query selector all. Now, this one has a period sign, which is like a dot. We talk about period sign like a dot. Query selector all. Why query selector and query selector all? Don't worry, I'm going to offer very quick clarity. Now, I'm trying to bring out this well. Please, if you're not taking notes, please take notes. Now, when you talk about, this is where you're supposed to take notes, summary. When you talk about get element by ID, what are we talking about? So we talk about, let me just do that. We talk about this one accesses single element. So single element. It cannot access more than one. Why? We talk about ID. ID, it offers unique. Let me just bring out this thing well, like ID versus class. Let us just understand this one. Who is crying? Okay, Now, understand this. ID, it is there for uniqueness. So an ID is unique within a page and can only be applied to one element at a time. You cannot share an ID, or there's somebody here who is sharing an ID with somebody, like your ID number, somebody else has the same ID number. No, it is ID because it is unique. It is unique. Now, in terms of uniqueness, that one accesses one at a time. How about class? So a class can be applied to multiple elements on a page. So we are going to see how to differentiate and how to access which one at what time. Worry not. Now, access a single element. So you can come and say only one element can have a unique ID. Only one. It cannot share. No sharing here. Now we have another one, which is class. So class. So this one, like you can access a collection. You can access like a collection. So this one you can say HTML collection. Like you can access a lot of elements at a go. Not to worry about anything. So array like, but not real array. Like we talk about array. When you talk about array, you hear something called indices, index here and there. So to access index, you access a certain point of index, like first come, first serve. If I have a good example here, I can come here and put class. I can say my class, right? Then I can come and say h2 dot my class. This is how you write it in a shortcut. h2 dot my class is going to bring out the awesomeness. I come and say hello world. Now, when I say my class in this instance, and we have two my class here, now which one is which one? So there's a way whereby you can be able to differentiate it. So you can access this one. As you can see, in terms of code execution, this one comes first, this one comes second. So if you want to access, you access by index. So this one is index 0 or index 1, index 2. So which one? This one is going to have, this one is going, sorry, what is that? So this one is going to have that index. And then this one is going to have that index. I'm going to show this to you, don't worry. It's not rocket science. Now we have tag name. Tag name. We talk about tag name. This one of also HTML collection, like you access a particular tag like HTML tags. And then we have query selector. So this one for query selector, this one is like an ID, like ID, only single elements. Then we have query selector all. Now for query selector all, it's like a class, like you can access so many at a go. So like class, multiple, and so on, blah, 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 blah. A lot of shenanigans, but I just want to jump into the action. Now, that's the approach, the modern approach. Now, to give you the perspective of what I'm talking about, let me just bring you this content here that you can be able to consume it and understand it well. Now, example of CSS selectors. So we have ID, select by ID. We have that one, select by class. We have tag, select by tag name. Then we have parent child, select direct child. So I talked about parent child relationship, like parent, child, and so on. Then we have select by attribute. So you have element, inside an element, you have an attribute, and so on. Just try to write these notes. They are going to help you later on. Now, let us do something about DOM because somebody is asking. Now, we have been doing a lot of talking. Let us do action. So let us try and change, modify DOM elements. Let us try and modify DOM elements, but now we are doing it in an action way. I'm preparing something on the background. Okay. Now, let us try and modify. So we'll start by creating a basic HTML page, select an element, modify the content, attribute, style, and class, blah, 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 step by step of this element, right? So not to worry, let me revert everything here. So this is the initial state, HTML. I'm going to write a few CSS. Don't worry, I'm going to write a few CSS. I'm going to write a few CSS, then explain line by line. So let us use, let's say DOM. Let's say modify DOM elements. Trust me, JavaScript is very sweet. I'm going to be adding things here in a few. Let us go to HTML first and do a few things. So we are going to say H1. For this one, we are going to have an ID of, let's say, main title. And if you realize I'm using something called camel casing. Camel casing is how you, it's a, okay, don't know, you can just Google that. So you can come and say original. I'm saying original because you're going to modify. Original title. Let us see if it is syncing. Yeah, there. So original title. Then we can have, let us see, an image. You guys have done this, so I guess it should be a walk in the park. So image. So this image is going to have ID. So ID, we can say main image. Source. Let us drag something here. Let me drag something here. This one. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, I can just come and copy relative path, slap it there. Then I can come and say PLP logo. Then I can specify the width to be around 200. The height be about 150. Yeah. So we are just trying to recreate something here, like about HTML, just the normal HTML. So paragraph plus, let us call this one text. So we can say this is a paragraph here. Why not? Paragraph. So this is a paragraph, and then you can come and do a button. This button, you can come and say ID, change button. We want to do it in a very fun way, by the way, such that, okay, it's going to feel more lively. So you can come and say change things. So I want when I click this button, things are going to change dynamically using JavaScript. Now, this one is our HTML. But we talked about JavaScript being like CSS. We can do it in three ways. We have inline, internal, and external. Same as CSS, we have inline, internal, and external. So inline, we talked about inline. Inline JavaScript is when you write within. Internal, we talked about something whereby you can just come and say script. Something like that. You put it inside here. But so for now, we are going to use external JavaScript. So we are going to link a file here. Let us call this file DOM script.js. Then I'm going to control click, then it's going to create that file. Simple. Now we are done with that. Let us see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. Very funny. Let me stretch it a bit. 500. Very funny. Let us stretch it a bit to 50. Much better, much better. Yeah, much better. Now, let us do some styling. This page is looking boring. Who did that? Whose handiwork is this? Very boring. Let us do something about it. Now, let us create a few. I want to create styles that we are not going to use. I'm creating styles that we're not going to use here. That's the first essence of JavaScript. I'm going to create styles that we are going to use dynamically via JavaScript. So these styles, we are going to use these styles after clicking the button. These styles are going to apply. Let us see how. So we can come and say highlight color. We can come and say yellow. If you have Canva in the house, please. No, what am I doing? Yeah. Background color yellow. Not to be tribalistic. Then you can come and say inactive. Before I run this, I'm going to explain each and every code base here. You're going to enjoy things. So inactive, there's something called opacity. I think you guys know about opacity. Let us give it 0.5. Just a little bit of opacity. Then selected. When an element is selected, we can just slap a border there. And this border, we are going to give this, the thickness of this border is going to be solid, of course, and has a thickness of solid, which is green, of 2 pixels. As of now, it's not happening. The button not functioning. Don't worry. Not to worry. I'm going to explain things. Let us jump into this wagon now. Now the main content. Now the main thing. Now, first things first, when you talk about DOM, you're supposed to select the elements. Number 1, select elements. So how do you select elements? How do you select elements? So you come and say, remember what we did here about elements? This is how we do selecting of elements. Before that, there's something that has come to mind. But anyway, regardless, I'm going to explain things. Now, we start by selecting elements. Let me just copy and paste what I have because of time. Now, this is how we select elements. So we want the title, right? Remember the IDs that we did? So we have main ID, we have our main title, we have main image, we have change button. Those 3. Then we have a class. So title, we want to affect the title, right? So we say const title, document, get element by ID. What's the name of the ID? Main title. That one is done. So we have just linked it directly. Then we have get element by ID, main image. We have tapped to the image. Then get element we are talking about query selector, so text. So we have this, so this one, we have it here. So we have tapped into that paragraph via CSS. There you go. Then button, get element by ID, change button. There you go. Now, after doing that, let me see. I think the place that I'm going is going to affect us. Let me see a way how I can break this one down. I don't know if you can even do event handling today. This one is going to bring event handling, and I don't want it to bring event handling. So let me simplify it. So let me remove this one. This one is going to bring things about event handling. Apologies for that. So something like big text, just something about something fishy. Big text. So we want to change the font when this one happens. Give it a bit 24 pixels. The color should remain that way. And then I think we can remove a few things here. Yeah, we don't need this button and everything. So I can just give this a title. PLP, hello, EIM, title. Change this one, change perspective, then I can. I want to offer difference here. And then we can have another one, paragraph. The reason why I'm doing this is that the earlier version, it will be complicated, and I've remembered I've not handled event handling. It was going to be very complicated. So description, you can come and say this is a paragraph. Let us remove this. Anyway, things I was changing a few. Let us go to the next thing now, JavaScript. That is what I want us to handle. Now, so const description. Let us say just describe document dot get element by ID. Then we do description. Close and close. So we are selecting elements. Step 2, what do you do about step 2? So step 2, let us start by changing the content directly. How do we change the content? Now we have this title, right? Let us try and change that title. So how do you achieve that? So change text content directly. We're changing it from here. So I talked about parent. I remember telling you things. Parent child. So this one is parent.child. So to access that, you just come and say title dot text content. We are in the title. What are we doing in the title? Are we removing? Are we doing anything? We are accessing the text content. So title, it is coming from here, this variable. So title dot text content. Then this is the content that I want. I can come and say new title PLP. You see? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Let me run it side by side. Let me comment this one out. This one is the original title. When I change this one here, let me uncomment this one for it to run. Then we have that. Simple. That is JavaScript. We have just manipulated. Remember, this one has not changed. Is this thing. Okay, I'm having a little bit issue with let me zoom out. This one has not changed, as you can see. Don't know what's wrong with my screen. It's not responding well. So this one has not changed at all. But then this one, you see, this one is the new one. This one is the old one. Simple. Just study it. Select, then you can change it. Now, let us do another one. So another one, we can say, because we're still changing, we can come and say description. We can say description dot text content. So what do you want to change this one? So you can say, this one is it has removed it, by the way. It has removed it. So this one is the old one. So when you start writing, you can come and say, this is the new deal. There you go. And remember, we still have the old one here. So it's just a matter of commenting this. And then you can have our content back. I hope you have understood. Now, that is step 2. What can we do about the next step? So we can say the next step is, let us change an attribute. So change an attribute. So to change an attribute is very simple. We can come and say, set attribute class. Set attribute class. So we want to use that method. We want to use that method. Remember, what I'm trying to tell you here, I've declared this, but I've not used it. So I want to use it. So I want this setting here or this styling here to affect this one. I want, okay, let me zoom out the original one. This one is the original. This one is the original size of the font. I want it to change to this one. So how do I achieve that? So I can come and say title dot set attribute. So set attribute, we already have one, right? We already have a class, which is dot, which means a class called big text. So you can come and say class. Then you go to the next one, you say big text. So directly it is going to affect it. This one is going to affect it directly. Let me close. Okay, it has not affected. Let me change this one to 124. There you go. So before that one is the new. That was the original. And then after I comment this one, it gives me a new one. So I'm able to manipulate. I'm able to manipulate even CSS. I'm able to come and say, CSS, you're supposed to come and slap your way through here. It's going to do that. Let us do 2 more. So we can come and say, the 4th one, we can come and say, change style directly. We want to change the style directly. Change style directly. So how do you change the style directly? So you come and say, description dot style dot, we want to change the color. So in the description, we want to change the style. In the style, we want to change the color. So you can come and say blue. Then we close. This one is supposed to be blue, lowercase. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That color has changed from black to blue. I can come and say red. And there you go. I can come and say what we call yellow. The color is yellow. I can come and change to any color that I want. So the description here, I just come and say You see, we didn't even declare it. I've just come and say, I want it to have a red color. So how do I achieve that? Just access it by ID. So this ID is the connecting point. It's connecting us to HTML directly. Let us do one more, that sector. So description dot style dot, want to change the background color. Background color. I want the background color to be, let us have green. There you go. And you even can change this one to even white. There you go. Simple. You see, it is simple that way. Now, let us have another one, another sector, then you can call it. So let us add a class, We can add a class even. So remember we already declared a class here. Let us use it now. So to use this one, I can come and say title dot class. So in a class list, it is going to search. It is going to search through the class list, and then we can use any of these. We can add, we can check if it contains, we can check for each, we can items, we can remove, we can replace and do anything. So for now, we want to add a class. So it is going to search through a class list. So this one, as you can see the definition, allows for manipulation of elements class, content attribute as set of white spaces separated tokens, blah, 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 a lot of shenanigans. But we want to add a class called highlight. So let us just come and call, I don't know. It is called highlight color. So we come and add it here. So as soon as we do that, there you go. Let me remove it for you to believe. That is the one that we have. That is the one that we have now. Simple. So what happens, let me just explain what happens from scratch. Title and paragraph text are updated right away as soon as you change them. Number one. Number two, the title font size becomes bigger as per what we described in the big text class in the CSS. Another thing is that the paragraph turns to red, having a background of green of sorts. Another thing is that we can turn the background to yellow background as per what we declared earlier. So in summary, we have not done event handling or clicking on anything, but we are just directly modifying elements, attributes, classes, styles, and so on and so on. So I think I've touched based on that. We can do other things like removing element if you want to. You can use so many things if you want to. For example, I can come and let me copy my notes too. Like they are not related, but I can just piece them together. I can come and add that. I want to create an element. There's a way that you can be able to create an element. Let me just do it separately. Let me just do it separately for your understanding sake. Then you can jump on the event handling. Then you can say, "Ooh, session done." Now, what we have just done is modifying elements. This is modification of elements. But do you know you can create elements? Do you know that you can create elements? So let me go on another thing. So you can come and say main.html. Why is it like that? Main.html. So you can come and say HTML5. And then you can come and say, let me just copy what I have. So we can modify, we can create and remove elements. That's what I want you guys to understand. So we have, let me dispose of this, then we'll create another one. So this one is a new one. So we are saying DOM, blah, 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 like DOM manipulation. We have div. I guess you guys have done div. If you have not done, don't worry, it's just like any other thing. Now we have ID content. This is something blah, blah, blah. Let me just look at this. Please hold on, guys. Hold on. Anyway, sorry. Somebody really wanted to call that person. Sorry for interruption. Now, this is a div, blah, blah, blah. Let us create this. Let us create this script. Now, the JavaScript part of it, let me just copy and explain as we move along because of time. I know I've been coding all along, but doesn't strike a difference. So you create a new element. How do you create a new element? We have been talking about get element, do this. But in document object model, this is how you create an element. You use a method called create element. So document dot create element. Because in that aspect, you are able to query this instance to create an element on a specified tag. So it's like you are creating a new element out of nowhere. So we are saying here, const new paragraph document dot create element. So we want to create a paragraph. Then that paragraph is going to have a certain context. So new paragraph dot text content. You are now, well, we already know this, so this here. This is now content. After creating it, you slap a content. This is exactly like saying, come and doing things like creating this entire line 11 here. Except here we are doing it differently. This is an existing paragraph. This is a new paragraph. Strike the difference there. Now, let us see if that one works. So before even jumping on that wagon, creating an element is not something that I can say, let me see. Have I linked this one correctly? No, that one is an existing paragraph. Now, step two, that was step one. Step two, we want to create a list of multiple items. Don't worry. We can be able now to create this new paragraph, but not yet. I'm going to show you how. So we are trying to create things. So in the spirit of creating things, you can have the next one, which is, let us create a list of multiple items. We are just using the normal while for loop. So we are saying list. We are creating a list. So document create element. So an ordered list. You are creating an ordered list. Here we created a paragraph. Here we're creating an ordered list. Now, after creating an ordered list, you just iterate. So we start with the first one. The lists are supposed to be like having items that are less than or equals to 3. Just iterating. So you create something like that. You say, I want to create in an ordered list, I want to create list. So this list is within a list. Like what I'm trying to say is, you are trying to do this, except you're slapping 3 there. This is what you are creating. Somebody is wondering, how did you do that? Simple. You just come and say UL, you put that one, LI, then you come and put the number. How many do you want? I want 3. As you can see, the emit abbreviation is bringing it out. So then I hit enter. So I want to create exactly something like this. Don't worry about time. We're almost done. We're almost done, people. So you come, these reactions, I'm almost done. People are, please just be patient a little bit. Because I'm on the last part, I don't think we are going to handle event handling. I think we can do that in the catch-up class, yeah. Because that one is really huge. Yeah, we can do the event handling during the catch-up on Wednesday. So please avail yourself. So don't worry, this is the last part that I'm handling right now. I'm not going to go to event handling. I'm going to do this creating element, adding element, and removing at one go. So please be patient. Be patient. Now, we are creating that. I've already explained exactly. It's going to create it like that. So, and then I'm going to say, in each list, we are going to append something like that. Append a list, append a list, append an item. Let us do another one. I'm going to share the repo. Let us add a new element. Step 3. Add new element. Yes. Now, let us add new element. So to add new element, we are supposed now to target a certain class, a certain ID. So we are targeting it here. For us to be able to add, we are targeting it here. Like everything that you have been doing from this and this, they are going to fall under one div. So that div, we are targeting it, which is called content. Here it is. Let me remove this. Don't worry, they're not going to appear here, but they're going to appear on the web page. So that's step 3. Step 4 is now to append the new paragraph. You see the paragraph that we created? Let us now append it, like now make it come to life. So when you come here, you can see this new paragraph. Let me comment that one so you can strike the difference. It is not there. It is not there. So this new paragraph was made possible by that line. So content append child, new paragraph. So it was able to do that. Let us now go to another step. So let us append a list. This list you have created, but you're not seeing this list. Where's this list? So for us to be able to see this list, we are supposed to also append it. And there you go. So item 1, item 2, item 3. Just like how the iterations was. So you're starting with 1, it is going to be less than or equals to 3. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, incrementing by 1. So item 1, item 2, item 3. But remember the context and the create element aspect. Let us go to the step 4. Now, step 4, after some time, after you have done all of this, let's say we want to remove. Let's say we want to remove something. So here we are saying, let's say we want to remove the first paragraph that we created above. So the first paragraph that we created above, this is how we do it. So let us see the actions of that. We have removed the existing one. So the existing one was being held, as you can see, query selector paragraph. We only have one paragraph here. So we are able to remove the existing one and we are able to remain with the new one, courtesy of this line. As you can see, first paragraph remove, and we already denoted it here. Okay, let me open room for question because I think we have just come to the end of our class today. You can give comments on how the session was. On Wednesday, don't forget to come to the catch-up. We are going to do event handling and advanced JavaScript as we complete everything so that we can remain with next week as finalizing on projects. I've opened the chats. I know you guys are tired, but I've covered pretty much a lot. Or even if you want, I don't want to repeat the session. This is a method that I did with the previous code. I don't want to repeat this session in the afternoon. So please, for those who are going to join in the afternoon, and then they are going to find out that we have not handled or we are not doing anything. Please, I'm not going to do another session in the afternoon. I'm not going to do another session in the afternoon because it is repetitive. What I'm going to do is kindly let us communicate to our peer groups and tell them if you are not there in the morning, go and find the recordings directly in the LMS. I'm going to put the recording there. In the afternoon, I'm going to put that as a consultation hour. Come with your question, full of question, and do it. And let us do that consultation session. So the afternoon session is going to be purely consultative. I don't want to repeat the sessions over and over again because the afternoon session and the evening session are meant for repeating. So the afternoon session, we are going to not repeat anything. It's going to be purely consultative. The evening session as well is going to be purely consultative. So those 2 sessions that are remaining, you can come up with your question, tell your peers, they should go and watch the recording, come with their question in the afternoon, even evening questions if you have them. Then let us meet on Wednesday as we handle the next one. Yeah, you consult after digesting. So just know that the afternoon session is going to be different. Now I'm going to be in class and tell them. I'm not going to repeat the session because the sessions are purely recorded. So instead of doing 3 sessions that are similar all the time, anyway, that is on my belt. So any question? We have people shouting question. Cabello. So Lillian, we have for loop, we have for off, we have for in, we have for each. 4 categories of loops. 4 categories of loops. For loop itself, for off, for in, and for each. Let me push this thing as I wait to people to ask question. This person is not talking. Abelo. Okay, let's go to the next person. Ishmael. Ishmael. The person is not talking. Let's go to the next person. Marion. Marion. We are not hearing you. You can raise your voice. I'm sharing the report, don't worry. Marion is not talking. Not to waste time. Let's go to Hilda. Hilda. Hilda as well is not talking. People, they're raising hand but not talking. Lawrence. Lawrence.
A question.
Yes.
My question is, do we have the deadline for submitting the assignments under the LMS? Because I'm a bit behind, so I want to know if there is a deadline for submitting the assignments.
We had deadlines, but I removed all of them. So give yourself about 2 weeks. Kindly complete the assignment up to date.
Okay. And if you can just make a repository of the codes we have just written in this class now and submit them, is that possible?
That's what I'm doing currently.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Let us talk to Darlene. Talk to first Darlene.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Please go back to your VS Code. I have a question in regards to that.
Minute I commit. Yes, where?
So when you go to domscript.js, you have initialized the describe where you've gotten the get element by ID, but when you're changing the text, content, and everything else, by using description instead of what you have already initialized.
By the way, why am I doing that? But funny enough, it was working. JavaScript, what is wrong with JavaScript? Let us see. It was working, funny enough, even with my typos. Let us see if it's going to work. It is working still. Wow. You see, this is JavaScript. It is going to allow me even with my typos. Sorry for the typo. You saw that, but I didn't see that. Any other question, Darlene?
No, that's all.
Let us go to the next person. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Are you good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for accepting me. I want to ask about the group assignment. We don't have a button there, or we don't have where we can submit our Git link. So I don't know, because I remember like today it's a deadline to submit. Can you please help us about that?
I'm going to provide a form within the week so that you can be able to submit the group assignments, please.
Not today, ne?
Not today, maybe tomorrow, from tomorrow, because I have to do it. You see, I was not prior informed on that, but I'm going to do that regardless.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Thank you. Also, it was nice meeting you. It was a good class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. Let us go to the next person. The ladies, okay. Let me allow, Marion was not able to talk, Anthony. Let me first of all commit this guy. I'm going to provide a README as well. Anthony. Anthony. People are not talking. Marion, we are not able to hear you at all. You see, I was not informed about the group assignment, so. But if it is today, no worries. Is it for specifically Anthony? And we cannot hear you. These people are not talking. Anyway, Yeah, so let me, I'm trying to push this guy here. As the Redmi, I'm creating the Redmi right now. Let us see. I'm not able to post. I'm trying to post this thing here, but it's not allowing me. Yeah, there you go. You see, let me use Copilot. The repo is coming. Let me give two people a chance. Cynthia,
Hi.
hello.
Just for peace and clarity, could you just kindly on the group share information regarding that group assignment in terms of the submission date and that form?
Okay, I'm going to do that after the class.
Okay, thank you. No, that's all.
This Redmi is not working the way I want, but anyway.